An invasive species is a plant or animal that is not native or alien to an ecosystem, and whose introduction is likely to cause economic, human health, or environmental damage in that ecosystem. Once established, it is extremely difficult to control their spread.
Invasive species cause harm to wildlife in many ways. When a new and aggressive species is introduced into an ecosystem, it might not have any natural predators or controls. It can breed and spread quickly, taking over an area. The native wildlife may not have evolved defenses against the invader, or they cannot compete with a species that has no predators. The direct threat of invasive species: preying on native species, outcompeting native species for food or other resources, causing or carrying disease, preventing native species from reproducing or killing their young. The indirect threats of invasive species: changing food webs. Invasive species can change the food web in an ecosystem by destroying or replacing native food sources. The invasive species may provide little to no food value for wildlife, decreasing biodiversity. Invasive species can alter the abundance or diversity of species that are important habitat for native wildlife. Aggressive plant species like kudzu can quickly replace a diverse ecosystem with a monoculture of just kudzu, altering ecosystem conditions. Some invasive species are capable of changing the conditions in an ecosystem, such as changing soil chemistry or the intensity of wildfires.
Asian carp, an invasive species. Asian carp is a catch-all name for the species of silver, big-headed grass, and black carp from Southeast Asia. The huge hard-headed silver carp also pose a threat to boaters. The fish can leap out of the water when startled by boat engines, often colliding with people and causing injuries. Carp consume up to 20% of their body weight per day in plankton and can grow to over 100 pounds. It is crucial to prevent Asian carp from entering the Great Lakes. Adult Asian carp have no natural predators in North America, and females lay approximately 500,000 eggs each time they spawn. Asian carps were imported into the United States in the 1970s to filter pond water in fish farms in Arkansas. Flooding allowed them to escape and establish reproducing populations in the wild by the early 1980s. At present, big-head carps had been found in the open waters of 23 states and silver carp in 17 states.
To stop this invasive species, the government of the United States of America proposed to start using electrical fences to prevent Asian carps to start invading the Great Lakes of America. They thought it would work, but it didn't. The main problem this invading species is generating is that there are no predator species to consume them. So a real solution that we propose is to migrate predator species to the rivers where Asian carps are invading and let nature deal with it. We thought about this solution because it is free from technological inventions that can interfere in the nature processes and change the ecology in the environment. The federal government is already monitoring the patterns that the Asian carps follow. Once the patterns are established, it will be necessary to start implementing predators. After implementing them, they will start inhabiting the invasive species, zone by zone, step by step.
A food web is the term scientists use to describe the sequence of living organisms through which energy passes as it fuels the life of a community of plants and animals. A food chain always begins with the plants, called producers, and it always ends with the animals, called consumers. The plants, or the producers, capture the energy from the sun and is the first link in the food chain. Energy begins to flow through the food chain when the plant tissue is consumed by animals, for example, insects, reptiles, birds, or mammals. They are the second link in the food chain. Energy moves through another link in the food when herbivores' flesh is consumed by animals such as spiders, snakes, and hawks. They are the third link in the food chain. Energy moves through another link when carnivores eat other carnivores. These include, for instance, spiders, wasps, and snakes. These carnivores are the fourth link in the food chain. Energy moves through the final link in the food chain when microscopic animals called decomposers feed on any remaining dead plant, animal tissue, and animal waste. With time, these tiny organisms, like fungi and bacteria, break down decaying organic matter, converting it into carbon dioxide and water, making them available for plants to use in the process of photosynthesis. This makes it possible for the cycle of energy to move through a living community all over again.